You think the streams are random when they turn up. How do you think I feel? I don't know when they're going to be. They just magically happen. Oh, if you'd like to ask a question during the live stream, the question in brackets, and ask whatever you want. I will be starting very briefly. Shortly, littlely, lesser, fewer. Right, let's click this button. Hi, I'm BoredGamer. Hope you're all doing well. Oh, put this over it. Hi, I'm feeling defeated today because I think it's unlikely we're going to get 3.18 by the end of January. I know I'm just saying. I hate to be so skeptical. I've been so hyped that 3.18 was going to go to live at the end of December, and then I was like, oh, 100% it will make end of January. Obviously hasn't. It's not even open PTU. It's not even Wave 2 PTU yet. And obviously there's a variety of reasons for that. But at the moment, Cloud Imperium is saying they are just getting shard isolation sorted, which is going to be coming very shortly. And then that will open up for PTU to Wave 2, and then open PTU after that. So shard isolation basically is an individual pipeline per shard. So at the moment, they've occasionally got shared pipelines, or pipelines can affect each other for the data that's going to them, and for when they're accessing like stuff from the servers or the databases. They don't want that. They don't, because effectively that will mean that shards are noisy shards, especially, are affecting the shards they're proximate to, effectively. So they don't want that, because you don't want a laggy server, and isolating the pipelines there makes for better servers. At least that's how I understood it. So once that goes out, which is going to be very shortly, that will be Wave 2 PTU. So we're looking realistically early to mid-February for a live release, probably mid-February for a live release of 3.18. Some people are saying, nah, it's going to be the end of Q1 release now. It's going to be the end of March. I do genuinely think that it will be live by mid-February-ish. And then we'll have a 3.18.1 for the end of Q1. And then sort of the Q2 patch, the end of June patch, roughly speaking, because obviously delays and things, will probably be 3.19. And I'm sort of want to talk a bit about 3.19 today. I'll see what questions we've got, and we'll go through some of those questions. But when I haven't got a particular question I want to answer, I'll probably float back to some of the things that we sort of either know are coming for 3.19 or expected for 3.19. So that's sort of things like the new derelicts and settlements and points of interest, cargo updates, Arena Commander being having a bit of an overhaul, potentially Lorville 2.0, and maybe other things like Bounty Hunting 2.0 as well. So yeah, so that's the sort of stuff I'm going to want to be talking about today. Hello, thank you very much for all the kind words from everyone. How was your day? Busy. So at the moment, so I think in 2018 or 2019, I revamped my office/room, and I was planning to move out last year, so I haven't really overhauled it. But I'm waiting a bit longer now before I move out, because I'm looking after my mother after my father passed away, and I'm waiting for the house prices to sort of dip as well. So it's more sensible for me to overhaul where I'm living currently a bit. So I've been removing things off the walls, rearranging stuff, and tidying. I had so much random old shit, like hundreds of old 40k and Warhammer sprues, just that were like 80% used. Just hundreds and hundreds of them, like boxes and boxes and boxes from them. So I've binned a lot of that. I've been keeping the stuff that I deem either valuable or overly nostalgic, and I'll flog some of it. Some of my art that's been on my walls that's Star Citizen related, I don't think I can sell it because it's not my art. I didn't design it or anything, so I might just give it away or bin it, because I'll replace it with other Star Citizen art. I'm keeping some of my Star Citizen art. Just some of it's old and dated or worn or damaged now. So I've got like a picture of Tears of Fire pointing at Chris's head. But the Tears of Fire end of the Second Foreign War sort of on a canvas, which is I'm keeping. That's lovely. I absolutely love that. I'd love to have the Jax McCleary autograph on it. That would be even better. For when he sort of faked, made his own copy. And you can see, so I've got a load of various Star Citizen art in the background there. Definitely keeping my signed Star Citizen sort of movie poster. That's got all the original, like heavy hitters from CIG back when I went to the 2015 CitizenCon. I got them all to sign it. Like Ortwin and people like that. So Chris and Ortwin and Sandy, and then Ben Lesnick. A load of people signed it. Some people obviously not at CIG anymore. Probably replacing those 3 screenshots I've got up on my wall. Got another screenshot over there that I'm replacing. And I'll probably have Diva from Overwatch on the background there, just because I've got a giant Diva canvas. Sorry if you can't hear me all the time as I keep on turning my head. Apologies for that. But I'll probably give that away to, Patreons or mods or people that are YouTube joiny subscriber boys, if they are interested. I'm doing loads of so I'm doing some Imperial Guard. I'm doing some Death Corps of Krieg stuff. I'm doing them. They're going to be called the Firefighters. Sort of cream and red. I'll update it on my social media and actually get into it again. At the moment as well, I'm deluxifying board games and sorting out my board game collection, of which is, as soon as I started to sort out my board game collection, it expanded rapidly as well. As I went, I want that, I want that, I wonder what's new, I wonder what's called board games. So I've just been sort of buying up stuff whenever I see it, things that I want, and deluxifying the board games by either buying 3 printed stuff, extra counters, painting a load of stuff. So my Cthulhu Death May Die section of stuff is all painted up now, other than the character models. It's all of the enemies are painted up really well, but the character models, they're all so diverse and random that I can't really sit down, and I'd have to paint one each individually each day. I suppose I could do that, so I might do that at some point. But, I'll probably talk more about board games and 40k and stuff at some point. Thought people might be interested in that. I got my Soulblight Gravelords, Vampire Cat's Army, whatever you want to call it, for Warhammer as well, which I need to finish off. And I've got some big boys. So one of the other games I'm deluxifying at the moment is Unfathomable, which is a remake of Battlestar Galactica sort of traitor game. So I've painted these big old, pretty big. I bought some 3D printed models of Mother Hydra and Dagon for Cthulhu boys that know that stuff, who appear in that game. I'm a moderately good painter, and I mean I'm all right. I haven't painted much relatively well until recently again. But contrast paints and the new sort of paints are so easy to use. Like, they didn't have it when I was younger. And there's airbrushes and stuff like that as well. So there's a load of cool stuff you can do. Yeah, I'm going through my bedroom, or my office, or whatever this room is, and sort of combined two, and tidying everything up, getting rid of as much as I can. Just reorganizing stuff. Going to be buying a load of new furniture. Obviously, the Kallax, sort of storage stuff. Pretty sure I didn't say I had a. But wow. Will this mean 3.19 is bigger? What do you mean? 3.18 is massive. It is the most monumental patch since we've had since 3.0. Since 2017 or whatever. It's super important. It's got a load of back-end stuff in as well. Obviously, persistent anti-streaming is a huge step forward towards server meshing. 3.19, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the Q2 patch. That makes sense. Plastic Death, thank you so much. Caught you live again twice in a month. What are the chances of a ground vehicle with beds and storage and stuff? I fancy me some space caravanning and scavenging. I think that's moderately high, at least at some point. So it's likely they're going to have vehicles that suit that purpose, because there's going to be a lot of ground-based gameplay, and the CIG are going to be looking at what gameplay they can add to planets to keep players on planets where possible. So I think you're going to see that. Obviously, they're expanding out HABs at the moment, and some modular HABs and derelicts, and using parts of derelicts to build out these points of interest. But you're going to have roads, and you're going to have ground gameplay, and you're going to have expanding sort of bases. And it makes sense that there are vehicles that can do that, because it's sort of a weird artificial measure to prevent them at the moment. But I just go, well, only certain ships have them and no ground vehicles. It's just that we have yet to see a ground vehicle with it. Travel the map. But thank you very much for that huge donation, Plastic Death. You are a beautiful, beautiful person. Thank you so much. Travel the map. Thank you very much for the sec. That you star. What kind of ship would you like next in game, regardless of gameplay? Regardless of gameplay. I mean, I love the way the Perseus looks. Sort of love the idea of the Perseus. I don't know. Regardless of gameplay, it doesn't work in my head. I have found it hard to detach stuff. Obviously, I'd want the Pioneer if it was for gameplay, because I'd be like, build bases, and factory stuff. It'd be nice to have the capital ships in game. I mean, they're getting to a stage where their gameplay can be supported properly now with persistent anti-streaming, moving into server meshing. So a lot of stuff with Star Citizen as well, I want it all to come together and work. So it's a tough one. You earned your golden lightning executive last night. Upgraded my C2 and A2 and earned Praetorian rank concierge. Summer Yeti, you are a monster. You are also a beautiful dev. Thank you. Dev? You're not a dev. He's not a dev. Well, maybe he's a dev, but not for Star Citizen. He's a mod. That's what he is. I've had too much coffee today. I've got flabby neck, flabby body. I've been eating poorly recently. Let myself go more, which I thought was impossible. I'll have to sort it out. I'm going to have to sort it out. I quite enjoy eating. Wish there was a way that I could stay thin and sort of healthy, but also eat as much as I wanted. and just eat crap. What's your opinion on the 600i rework that's upcoming? So I really like what they've done with both of the variants. Sort of moved the modular stuff to the back. Sort of makes sense. They're really expanding out what those ships do in each of their roles of luxury, sort of VIP transport and touring and exploration. So really like that. Really like the way they looked. I'm pretty excited for them. I'm waiting for the 8th of February roadmap update to see if it's going to be this side of sort of 2023 that we actually get them in game. No, so don't expect anything from 3.19 to be pushed into 3.18's initial launch. I see what you mean, though. Could we have some little bits that were going to be in 3.19 in a 3.18.1 or in the patch cycle? Yes. Some of the more minor things, yes. Larger things, probably not, but possibly. Like, so with the point patches, they could potentially go, this is ready. Although it's not a major patch, it is still bigger. It's still a quarterly patch. Do you see what I mean? It's hard to know. That's what I'm trying to say. But yes, it's possible. How does persistent entity streaming compare to iCache? I only heard of iCache this year. So persistent entity streaming is the saving of sort of server states, the tracking of items, and the ability to reload those server states, so nothing's lost. So when you move something, when you place something down, when you've got a shipwreck, whatever, that effectively stays on the server. Even if the server crashes, it can load back up, reload all that stuff. It's no longer volatile. .18 as a Q2 patch. Surely you mean 3.18? Hopefully not. Hopefully, 3.18 live release mid-February now. So can we now salvage the piano from derelict phoenixes? I have not tried to do things like that. I'm pretty sure that you can only salvage the outer hull of a ship at the moment. But I love the idea of trying to steal the piano. I haven't tried to even do that in a what can we do with derelict phoenixes. I haven't seen all the ships as derelicts as salvageable yet. So, where's ship modularity? It is something that they're looking to work on after the what's it called? The resource management system has come in, which they're working on this year. So, resource management system is the circuitry of ships. It's getting ships with damage control, true multi-crew. Oh, Din made a joke earlier today about something for the new Nordad. Like, oh, be kind, because I've only just finished the big sort of tutorial, which takes a long time and is pretty intensive. And she was trying to get footage from 3.18 in quite a buggy state at the time. So she's sort of like, I was like, yeah, I'll be kind. And then she made a joke about something. I went, okay, that's a good idea. So I ran with that, and you'll see on the next Nordad in February what we've gone for. Teach her not to make jokes in front of me. Stormfire, thank you so much for the donation. Very much appreciated. BoredGamer, the man with the best Star Citizen info show. That is very kind. There are lots of other info shows for all types of info consumers, and I like a load of them. I do appreciate the kind words. Thank you very much. What else have we got here? Like to see passenger travel gameplay in 3.19? It is possible. So obviously last year they wanted to get taxi gameplay in, which is passenger gameplay. The Spirit series, the E1 has passenger gameplay. That looks like it's planned to get done for the sort of by Q2 probably, roughly, from what I can tell anyway. So it's a strong possibility for taxi gameplay. Actually want to write down in my notes Spirit. Oh, and there's obviously I'm interested to know how far along salvage munching is, or how much work it's going to have to do for them to get the first iteration of the next tier of salvage, or next sort of type of salvage. Apologies if you can hear a helicopter outside my house. It's because I have a helipad behind my house, because I live near a hospital. I'm not sure what T-bone passenger means. What? What Hull C supporting gameplay do you expect? So, that's a good question. So, I'm expecting 3.19 to have the Hull C in it. That's my expectation. And for that patch to also include 32 SCU cargo containers, so the large cargo containers, which will be used on the raft and the Hull C and the big cargo hauls. Probably ship tractor beams, probably, and costs and times associated with loading and unloading cargo. All that together sort of makes sense to me. Probably the more use of cargo decks. Might get some missions, some hauling stuff in there as well. Yeah, so soft destruction is, I just think so. I was just about to call it soft death. My term is soft destruction, and I like it a lot more. But yes, soft destruction for the ships is just so good in things like Xeno Threat. It's so fun just having the wrecks of the ships there, and people coming to salvage them, and people boarding things, and just after you finish like a fleet battle in Xeno Threat, just a dozen salvage ships turn up to strip the field. Oh, so good. Bottle of wine to the first person who salvages and lifts a piano from Phoenix with video evidence. I want this. Simon, yeah, I like the idea. When do you expect 3.19? So I expect it to be the roughly end of Q2 patch. I'm going to say roughly because there's always at least a little delay, so it'll be into like really early Q3. And CRG are on the bit of a back foot because of how long it's taken 3.18 out the door. I'm assuming that we'd have docking for the Hull C, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to laden it with any cargo and use it to then, unload that cargo. So it should have docking, right? As with 3.18, PT iterates, if you graphed out level of frustration, what would that graph look like over time? Also, how are you and Zin? Zin's alright. She's busy working. We chatted this morning, so she's got a couple of new kittens, and she's looking after them temporarily, potentially permanently. She absolutely loves them. They're gorgeous little things. She has our own personal little group of friends, a kitten cam in the room that they're in, because she's got them locked into a room at the moment, so they can get used to the house. But I'll jump onto kitten cam occasionally and go, "Oh, kittens!" So that's kind of cool. So she's very happy with that. We're playing through Grounded in the evenings as well. Obviously, Grounded is now fully completed as a game. So that's a good game. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. For those of you that are 30 years plus of age, you'll know what that is. That's good. Survival co-op. Good laugh. I'm doing all right. I'm really tired at the moment. It's just because I've been organising my room and doing a load of work to it. Like it's exhausting because it's just so much to do. And I'm almost done. I say almost. I've got to clear out the top. I've got the top of my desk it's got some storage boxes on. I need to go through all that and get that all off, and then take the chest of drawers that's there downstairs, wait for a new desk to arrive, assemble Kallax 4x4 big cube storage thing, and then move a few things around, have a big hoover. Not actually that much left to do. I also want to sort out one of my storerooms. Are you going to try Dark and Darker on the 6th to the 13th? So someone was asking me about Dark and Darker the other day. I like... what's that? Let's have a look. Dark and Darker, an unforgiving hardcore fantasy FPS PvPvE. Oh, so I've been watching Hat Films playlists. Maybe. I think that with a lot of my friend group, they'd find it too stressful that you just constantly get wrecked. No, I've got a couple of mates that might want to play it. Maybe. I'll check it out at the very least. I'll check it out because it might be really good fun. Some games I get very frustrated with, and then I just don't want to play them. Some games I'm challenged by and really love, and some I'm just sort of like, this is fun and dumb, and I love it for that. Will we ever get Euro Truck Simulator hauling gameplay? So Zin was talking about this literally in the podcast earlier. So that podcast will come out later today. And we were talking about Euro Truck Simulator, Train Simulator, and hauling and sort of cargo gameplay. So expect hauling gameplay to some degree, because you're going to be transporting large amounts of cargo between areas, blah, 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 and you'll probably have missions where you can, you'll get given a ship and a cargo to transport, right? And there might even be ground-based missions that are transport this cargo on the ground from here to here for a long way. Cool. I would expect something like that. I think that just long-distance cargo hauling in a ship can be fun. It's not a bug simulator. They're not simulating a bug. The bug's there, right in front of you. Bug reality emulator. Thank you so much, Plastic Death, Travel the Map, and Stormfire for those donations. You are beautiful people. That's genuinely appreciated. So January, for people that don't know, for I assume most content creators, but especially something I notice, it is not too down on the views. Like, we have less views compared to November, December, which is like my October, November, December, which are my busiest months for the channel by far. So it is down on views a little bit, but not a huge amount. But it is down on the amount YouTube pay for stuff hugely, by like a third off it. So it's the quietest month, probably one of the quietest months of views, although it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's down a little bit, but not a huge amount. We get quite consistent traffic. But then the amount that YouTube pay is hugely low compared to normal. So it's sort of, it is appreciated for people that are Patreons, the people that are use the join button onto my videos, that donate, whatever. Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you so much. Extra welcome at the moment. That's what I'm trying to say. Did all the creators from the verse decide to stop talking 3.18 because it's definitely not quite ready and just go straight into speculating 3.19? I do both. I talk about both. I'd start speculating on 3.19 before 3.18 even went to PTU. That's the kind of guy I am. I talk about 3.18 leads. So 3.18, as I said, I'm expecting now, re-evaluating, because it's unlikely to be by the end of January it comes out. You see? Know this? From seeing that it's the end of January and it's not out. Yeah, really excited for the 3.18. Xenothreat's really good fun, and it's I have yet to actually play in the Jumptown 2.1 mission, but they should be running some more tests of that as well. I hope we get a Squadron 42 Vertical Slice or teaser this year's conversation. That would be nice. So I believe next year is going to be big announcements for things. Just because it looks like next year's CitizenCon will be in the UK, and that's where all the devs are going to be anyway. It makes sense for them to announce something big there. Oh, you've sent me a mod link for my own channel. I appreciate it. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think I've ever seen this screen before. This moderator Twitch thing. What's going on? I've got a load of people from loads of places around the world. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate all the kind words as well. What else have we got? What else have we got here? I've been I mean, we can start talking about 4.8 if you want. Ship tracked beams and persistent hangers in 3.19. So I think ship tracked beams, yes. Persistent hangers are being worked on. So if you look at a persistent hanger as just a hanger that it takes you to in a landing zone that is effectively yours and has its own UI inventory that's separate from anywhere else in the zone, then yes, I think that is a strong possibility for 3.19. And they can iterate on it from there to make it more physicalized. But I don't think there will be truly physicalized sort of locations. I think they're going to be moving about those hangars. So basically your elevator will take you to your hangar, which might not be in exactly the same place every time you come onto the server. Have you played Ransom Notes? Really liked it. Not exactly board game, it's a card game and has magnets. I haven't. I've got Cluster, which I made a copy of myself, which is magnet-based game. I'll check out Ransom Notes, Sharkbites. Hope you're doing well, sir. I do need to actually retweet and talk about your wares somewhat, and maybe get a picture of your knife. When do you think we'll see physicalized inventory? At some point after the resource management system's done. So at the moment, Clan Imperium are doing the resource management system, which will make use of physicalized components. They're also going through all the ships and making them ready for physicalized components. Once those things are done, they put physicalized components in. They're sort of working towards that now. Do you think we will be allowed to drag or tractor beam old wrecks and weld them together to make our own secret derelict bases? Nice. I think that will be points of interest that will be similar to that. I also think that in Squadron 42, there are literally the shipjackers. I think they do that as well. Yes, I've seen that there are occasionally in my chat section, I get a scammer who will pretend with various names of BoredGamer-ish sort of things, pretend to be me and try and get you to go onto Telegram or to go to outside links. I will never ask you, in a chat section or whatever, to go anywhere external. You can check my links in my videos, in my video descriptions. If you need to go anywhere, I will always put them in there. You can always talk to me on Discord, but making sure it's me, you'd find me on my Discord channel there. So just be aware there are scammers. There are going to be some people that ask you to go to Telegram or whatever. It is fake. It is scammy. If you think it's probably a scammer, then it's a scammer. If I basically to ask you to go off-site or do something weird, like, it's not me. Do you think the new bunkers will be in 3.19? I don't think so, because I think there's too much work that needs to go into them. I'm really looking forward to the new bunkers. It's possible we could see some early work to it, or some of the above ground locations, maybe. But obviously they're working on it. It'd be great to see it by the end of the year. Extreme PC UK, thank you very much for the raid. That is genuinely appreciated, sir. A long time ago, you talked about cargo missions. Closer becoming a reality now, because of the 3.18 patch. Yeah, so, I mean, I talked about cargo gameplay that I'm expecting for 3.19 earlier as well, pretty recently. So, yeah, I think that, obviously, with the cargo refactor in 3.18, that opens up a huge amount of potential cargo gameplay. 3.19 is probably going to have large cargo containers and a lot more cargo gameplay beyond that. And then we're going to be moving into more exciting cargo-based missions. Just got into Game in December and went ahead and bought a Perseus for my friend group to have fun. What was the Hammerhead release like, as that is the only thing I can compare it to. That was a lot of people trying out Hammerheads and doing fleet battles with them. So Hammerhead's great ship for mission running, bounty hunting running, sort of general combat. It's great as a multi-crew ship at the moment, because multi-crew gameplay isn't particularly fleshed out, but all your crew can just use a turret, and that gameplay is moderately fleshed out. It's a good laugh. There's a load of work that we need done for multi-crewing in ships, so that we can do damage control, we can do rerouting, we can do engineering, and all that sort of stuff, and have proper permission systems, and things like we're seeing at the moment, like the life support systems and gravity control and fires breaking out. I'm with you with the Perseus, though. Perseus is a great ship. I think it'll be great as with a small group. So, with VR, Star Citizen will be looking to at what they can do with VR potentially after Vulkan integration, after Vulkan has been integrated into game and optimized. Some of the devs said they would look at it in their spare time if they had to. We'll catch up with that once we know more. So 4.0, I think it's possible that we could have an Evocati test of 4.0 by the end of the year, and Cloud Imperium start to talk about and show off some 4.0 bits. I don't think we're going to see 4.0 live by the end of the year. I think that's too optimistic, especially with the delays we've had with 3.18. Or did you get my email about Pez? You could spell board big on the surface somewhere. I did see that email. Yes, I quite like the idea. See what I can get away with. Do like nordvpn.com/boredgamer written in a planet. See if CIG get annoyed. Go, no, we can't allow this. If there are meant to be hundreds of planets in game, and we've still got only a handful, how long will it realistically take to get the projected planet goal? The projected planet goal, 10 plus years. Go, what? There's 100 to 120 systems they want in game eventually. Like at release, I'm expecting a dozen or two, and then to keep on expanding out pretty regularly, more and more and more star systems. They've got hundreds of planets planned. They're not going to release with hundreds of planets. They're going to release with, well, maybe 100 planets or something. But it's going to be like a dozen star systems or 24 star systems, not 120. At least that's my opinion on that. I have a feeling 4.0 won't release this year if it takes them this long to just release 3.18 and we're almost in February. Yeah. Obviously, 3.18 is a special case for a patch, but 4.0 is a specialer case for a patch, right? I just started playing this weekend. Someone gave me 70 million Alpha UC. That's very kind of them, but I suppose that makes sense because we're just about to have a wipe with 3.18, right? And I've been messing around with my friends. The money giver said we'd get 3.19 soon. Is that confirmed? So, no. 3.18, hopefully going live within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully. 3.19, we don't have a date for. We'll have a stronger date on the 8th of February, because we'll both have to work out approximately when it's sort of roughly planned for, because the Star Citizen scheduling stuff would have gone ahead, and they can go, this is the plan. I'm expecting it end of Q2, so end of June is going to probably be the target. We don't know that. Do you think we'll ever be able to salvage actual parts from a ship? Yes, like weapons, quantum drive, yes. Components and weapons, that's part of the salvage gameplay. You'll be able to remove them, weld them off, take them. That is going to be part of salvage gameplay eventually. Yeah. Especially now in 3.17.5, use up all your Alpha UEC, spend, try new stuff, do risky things, mess around. It's going to get wiped with 3.18 live anyway. Right, bear with 1 second. I'm just going to grab some water, and then we'll get back to these questions. So, a word from our sponsors. I'll do that. Press the add button. Is there an add button on here, actually? Is there an addy button? Suspicious activities. No, activity feed. It's just delaying me more because there's so many buttons. Ads, NordVPN. Oh. Hello, I'm here. Is it meant to be no audio? Is there no audio? Apologies. I don't know what's going on. Right. Hello. Hi. What have we got? There wasn't supposed to be any audio while I wasn't there. I was out of the room. Got some water. Oh, yes, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm a little bit sort of manic today. Had too much coffee. Really, I'm more manic because I'm quite tired just from doing lots of chores and getting my my room/office in a much more livable state. Do you think CIG could ramp up the number of location teams to bring in star systems at a higher rate, like 200 devs in 10 teams? So yes, to an extent. They're obviously their new UK office is coming online at the moment, so it's there. People are going there to work now, but there's more floors and more offices there that are sort of being built out at the moment. So they're hiring, so they're getting more and more people there. So they want 1,000+ people in that office in the UK. That's a lot of people. They've got a bigger office in Frankfurt, and they're going to be looking at getting bigger offices in Austin, I believe, and potentially LA. Yeah, they've expanded out all their studios. There's a load going on. They've got the Montreal one. I believe they've got one in France as well now for the Montreal studio. So if people live in France, the people live in Montreal, they can all speak French together. My chair is a Herman Miller Aeron remastered, and I bought an extra sort of head thing for it, little headrest. So a third-party one that just looks like it's meant to be with the chair. It is an amazing chair. I'd say this is the best chair I've ever used because I'm in the chair for a long period of the day. I work from home. It's just it's my home office. It's my bedroom actually. It just I stay in one room. I just want everything in that one room. And if I could somehow just put toilet newspaper down, use the floor, didn't need to go to the bathroom. Perfect. Have like a dust bath in the back, just roll around in the sand. Oh, it'd be so beautiful in my natural element. Right. Did you get the A, B, or C? It's either an A or a B. It's a small one. I'm a small little boy. It was an A or a B. I can't remember which one. I could look it up. Will the Hull C have turrets? It'll have some defences, but not much in the way of defence. It's got little pew-pews at the front of it, isn't it? I don't think it has actual turrets. Can't remember what the Hull C has now. Ship. It could change a little tiny bit as well. Ship metrics. Let's see what it's listed with at the moment. It's listed with loads of to be decided weaponry. Well, it looks like it's got remote turrets on. Remote turret at the center rear. It's got some front-facing weapons. It looks like it's got some remote turrets as well. So, remote turret on the center rear and center top front. Okay. We get some more coverage as well. It's hard to tell because it's one of the older concepts. What's your prediction for AI blades? So something they are working on. Obviously, so this is the semi-automation of certain systems on your ship, and also the allowing certain systems to do more. Like you could have you could plug a blade into your ship that gave you more bounty hunter database information, or allow you to scan better. But also you could use it to semi-automate turrets. And I say semi-automate, sort of they'll fire at certain targets and they're not going to be as accurate as an NPC would be. And obviously an NPC is not supposed to be as accurate as a human can be. If someone has a hull D, is it worth them getting a hull C? Potentially in a use case, although I'd say probably not. There's potential use cases for a smaller cargo ship. Like it might be able to travel through more jump points more easily. It might be quicker. Do we know if navigation for ground vehicles is being worked on? We do know that there's a mini-map, a star map, and some forms of navigation being worked on, and FPS scanning. So that's all being worked on at the moment, as far as I'm aware. We do know there is going to be better ways of navigating around. With quite a few ships having beds and no washroom or toilet or kitchen, is there going to be use for a ship with a bed but no livable support? Probably not. If you've got a bed, I'd expect to have a toilet. But probably. So I do expect there to be a big difference between short and long-range ships, and there to be a big sort of curve of how long sort of range a ship can be. When I say long range, I mean how long can you stay out in the ship, because you have a bed, have a toilet, you have a kitchen, you have a good amount of fuel or the ability to get fuel. This game sucks without friends. Some people like the lone wolf aspect and they want to run it solo. But yes, I would much rather play Star Citizen with a big org or medium-sized org and a group of friends. Same way, like playing World of Warcraft or any other MMO is typically better with friends. What's the difference between the hull D and the hull E? The hull E is much bigger. Do you think, with the possibility of ship tractor beams, we might see larger hand tractors too? Yes, it's possible that we might get a dedicated tractor beam that's two-handed, and that sort of stuff in the not-too-distant future. I'm new to this game. I've been trying the past 3 weeks. The amount of bugs is beyond describable. I'm struggling so hard to make 300k. Why the dev fix the bugs? Why? So Star Citizen's not. So if you're playing on the live servers, they're not as buggy as the Persistent Universe, the PTU servers, which are the test servers. Star Citizen is an alpha, and if you are having lots of the problems repeatedly, it might be because you have a known issue that you have not addressed. So you can go on to support.robertspaceindustries.com and have a look to see if there is a known issue there that is affecting you. Were you surprised when you saw Wizards of the Coast surrender on the open gaming license controversy? Such a blessing. Is it such a blessing, or is it something they're going to sneak in later? So Wizards of the Coast obviously trying to make some more money and go, you know what, lots of people are making a load of money from RIP. It's RIP, we should make money from it, right? And we should get their money. So it's a bit of a shitty response from them originally, sort of changing that license agreement. But yeah, it looks at least in the short term, the community's won. Hopefully, they'll go. So what? The correct response now, from my point of view, is for the community to go, yes, we forgive you as long as you don't try and change it again. Because the problem is if the community have gone, no, screw you, Wizards will just go, okay, we'll just change it then. We'll still change it. If we've lost the goodwill and people are still boycotting us or leaving us, and then we might as well change it to make more money. So hopefully, from my point of view, people go, you know what, we'll forgive you in the short term, bam. However, do anything like this again, we're out. Dissident Agnostic, thank you very much for the donation. Any clues on how CIG plans to stop store purchased items being looted, requiring character reset for item recovery? So, this is interesting. So, Clan Imperium are currently trying to push players away from doing character resets and to use the they're going to be the character repair tool instead, which is a lot lighter weight from their back end. It doesn't entirely destroy and recreate your character. It repairs your character. So basically the idea of the reset character thing was to get your player in a playable state again. So the character repair thing is sort of like gets you easily in a playable state again. So like, puts you back to your spawn point and doesn't need to recreate your character or whatever, or only needs to recreate smaller parts of it. Boom, you can play again. Now, how does that affect item recovery for sort of store purchase / concierge items? I don't really know, because it sounds like you're not going to be able to recover them so easily in 3.18 and beyond until they have a new way of recovering them. So Cloud.BM are going to be working on a new way of recovering them and for you to get them back. Me and Sin were talking about this the other day as well. Like, what do you want from these items? How do you think we should get them back? Do you think they should be retrievable? One of the solutions we came up with was, well, just have them so they're recoverable, but you can only recover them like once every few weeks. It takes time to actually get them back to you, because you don't want everyone everyone have golden armor because they've stolen it off one of their orgmates and they just keep on spawning it. And maybe there should be missions to go and reclaim the armor from people that have stolen it. And if you're ever wearing it or detected with it, well, it's a really hot item and it's super illegal. Do you think we'll see some more Origin vehicles this year? I think we're going to see the Spirit series. I suppose they're not Origin, though. X1. I don't know why I said the Spirit series. For some reason in my head, they're Origin, but they're not. Well, obviously, they're Crusader. I agree, BoredGamer, with the Wizards of the Coast thing. The community needs to give them a chance, but I think they will. D&D has too rich and a long story history for anyone to just walk. Yeah, I mostly agree. Do you think there's going to be a lot of noisy people that sort of that might affect that a bit more? But yeah, dissident agnostic. There is changes that might affect the item recovery stuff now. So maybe Cloud.BM will push for a system in game to recover that quicker. 3, 2, 3, 1. Oh my god, my ability to read your name is confused in my brain. As development continues, new ship design improves and the bar gets raised. What do you think will happen with the state of the RSI Auroras? They need a rework. But all ships are going to be brought up to gold standard, and some are going to get little reworks as they sort of do that. Now, they will come to a stage where they go, this is the cutoff line for we're not making any more ships beyond. This is the cutoff for our gold standard. We're not going to re-gold standard any ships that hit beyond this until everything else is done. So I think we'll be getting there sort of in the next couple of years, because they want to have a gold standard which is now. We don't. This is the actual gold standard, which doesn't move, because at the moment gold standard moves from patch to patch to patch. This doesn't move because Squadron 42. This is why we want it for Squadron 42. Bam. This is it. They can move it up again later and go, we've updated the ships, but that's something that will come after Squadron 42 sort of thing. Do you see what I mean? See what I mean with that little rant? Do you think we'll start seeing progress on ship refining now that the cargo factor is in? I think we could see some updates to ship refining. I do think they're going to want to work on the cargo factor more first, though. Persistent hangers in 3.19? I think it's a strong possibility, assuming that they just want a simple... The elevator takes you to your hangar, and there's a UI there that differentiates it from... of other people's hangars, or a common public hangar, more storage for you. Do we know if AI ships will continue shooting after soft death? I don't believe they do. Although I suspect there will be, in the future, there will be AI that react differently. Though some would do that, potentially. You mentioned the new racetracks, and they might make their way into Arena Commander. Yes. Is there any official word from CIG on that? Was that just speculation? I believe they mentioned that they were looking at bringing the Persistent Universe tracks into Arena Commander. I believe that. I don't have a reference on me to hand. I believe that is the plan. So assume that is speculation at the moment. That's better than go 100%. We do know that Cloud Imperium are working on Arena Commander for 3.19 to revive that. We do know that Cloud Imperium are working on racing as part of the Arena Commander stuff as well, so bear that in mind. It might have been in a monthly report, or it might have been something that someone told me in confidence. I do get some, so I get some inside information about Star Citizen, and I try not to reveal anything in particular until I have other references for it, or I can go, well, this is from this, and this is from this. But sometimes I get a bit confused what is public knowledge or not. Obviously don't have that much insider information because I'd have a better timeline on 3.18. Hey Bored, any clue if 3.18 will ever go out to Wave 1 from Wave 1 to Open PTU? So it's going to Wave 2 next, then Open PTU. Wave 2 first because they want to verify some stuff. As soon as they've got the shard isolation stuff in, that's when it's going to go to Wave 2. So I totally agree with you. I even talked about this today in the podcast. Is it a way of Cloud Imperium trying to milk subscribers to get more subscribers in? Probably not, because you can't copy your account over at the moment. So I wouldn't say it's a milking tactic at the moment. Because, yeah, the character copy ability is only up every so often. Do you think ship-to-ship docking will be a thing? Yep, it's supposed to be, as far as I'm aware. It is still the plan. Let's do a quick fire. Pew, pew, pew. Do you think the next ships to be implemented in the game will feature the relay system at time of release? The Spirit series, for example. I don't understand what the relay system is. Sorry. If you can reword that. There's a lot of talk on the Glassdoor that Star Citizen is chasing new ship sales. I would not trust Glassdoor at all. So I know that some of the Glassdoor reviews have been written by Star Citizen dissenters. Just people that are causing trouble very often. And you'll also notice that a lot of this follows the lines of what Star Citizen Refunds and some of the other less desirable or sort of anti-Star Citizen sort of groups are. I'm not saying that these places don't sometimes have some good points or whatever, because they sometimes do. I'm not saying they're all bad either. But I certainly do not trust Glassdoor, especially when you can't verify who said that or why, and it just sort of like goes, huh. But that's not to say they're all fake on Glassdoor. I do know that all my friends that work for CIG really enjoy it. I get a lot of the insider information, but I only get that from the sort of UK for the most part. It might be different in some of the American offices. I know the German offices, people are pretty happy there. Does CIG have an incentive to finish the game? Yep, they certainly have an incentive to keep on producing more and more. I mean, why wouldn't they finish the game? They can sell more once they have a more mainstream game. So and they are adding more and more and more. It's just the timeline is long and slow, and there are delays. I mean, once they get Squadron 42 out the door, as long as it's a good game, I mean, they're going to be a lot more mainstream, about to make a lot more money. Them actually producing a game and making more of the game and releasing it is great for their monetization model. Because they don't have to stop selling ships. They said originally they planned to stop selling ships, or there'd be a limited amount of ships. But they don't have to do that. They just keep on selling more. They go, well, we'll make some more ships. I think they will. I think they'll keep on doing concepts. That's me personally, though. I will go check out the Glassdoor stuff, though. I do every so often. But I find a lot of the Glassdoor things follows a strange parity for what the Star Citizen Refunds have just said, or someone has just said aggressively. Like, whoa. Like, oh! But there are genuine criticisms of Star Citizen and its management and of its development or whatever that people can levy. I'm not saying that that's not the case. And yeah, keep them honest. I want to see stuff like that when it happens. I cover the project for Star Citizen. My bias is that I love Star Citizen, but I like the project warts and all, and I create content on that. So I just want the news. Just want the news. Give me the news. Do you think Blades and NPC crew will make it too easy for larger orgs with larger ships to dominate everyone else? No, so I think there's going to be artificial ways of preventing too many ships in an area. I think that's going to be a bit of a resource and money sink. I do think it's going to be a lot of working well together and scanning and finding things. It's going to be the best way of operating. But could there be larger scale org wars, which it's attrition and whoever's just got the most ships? Yeah, potentially. We'll have to see how they balance for that. Because we don't want... I don't want org sizes to be infinite. Like there should be a max cap on org size, or incentives to not be in a giant org. Like they get taxed more on all of their like mission earnings and stuff like that. Or do you think we'll see a salvage ground vehicle? Yep, I do think we'll see a salvage ground vehicle. What ships can we expect to be released in upcoming patches? The Spirit series, the Hull C, looks like the ones that are coming in the very near future. Will we be able to use a flood... Will we be able to flood a compartment of our ship with volatile gas and detonate it to kill shipboarders? Wouldn't that blow up your ship as well? You'll probably be able to turn off the air in there or vent the area. I don't think you'll be able to vent in explosive gas. Dissident agnostic. My feeling is that CIG should convert store items into perma skins. So if someone shoots your item, they get a generic item, but not the skin. The skinned item would then be permanently residing in your hangar. So Zin was talking about how they do it in RimWorld, and basically it would sort of, the item could detonate or dissolve or whatever. So there are ways around it. There are ways of just going, no, you can't have this item. It gets destroyed when it's dropped. As soon as it detects that the owner is dead, it's gone. It only works with their DNA. There's a load of stuff they could do like that, right? Because it's coded to their DNA. It's a concierge item. I quite like that. Thank you very much for that donation as well. Oh, you are beautiful, beautiful people. Thank you so much. So, do I think we're going to see like the X1 and some other Origin vehicles like the G12s this year? Potentially. I mean, it's low hanging fruit in my opinion, so they should be able to get that done with some of the devs. Herman Miller chairs are incredible, expensive, but one of the best things I've ever bought. Yeah, I mean my chair a lot of the time. It seems sensible for me to do that. The Arna was nerfed to limit its effectiveness. So, yes. So they wanted it so it was very good at attacking larger ships, but not just incredibly broken at sniping smaller ships. It will get more of a rework in the future for sure. I think my biggest game breakers now are on-foot AI and on-foot desync teleports. These two are being addressed in upcoming patches or later down the line. So you should notice that being better for when 3.18 goes live, and that there is going to be at least some work done to those. Oh, Morphologist, thank you very much for the raid. That is very much appreciated. I'll go on for a little tiny bit longer then. I was going to wrap up, but I will stay for a bit longer. If anyone's got any questions, question in brackets. Hello, thank you very much for the raid. It's very much appreciated, Morph. Hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you had a good stream as well. How you been doing? If you are around, or if you've not already left and gone, I suspect you're quite busy, sir. We're talking about 3.18, and obviously my terrible attempts to work out what's going on with when it's actually going to be released. I've obviously thought it was going to be releasing end of December, but it's almost February now, isn't it? It's not out. What's going on? Doing really well, man. Was just trying to test some Xenothreat, but well, it didn't work very well. 3.18 is also quite jank. Yeah, it's erratic. She's an erratic mistress, and got shot through some walls by NPCs. Well, at least the NPCs were working. I had a good time on Xenothreat the other day, actually. I didn't have many problems, but I wasn't fighting NPCs on foot, so... I hope you're doing well, Morph. Love your face, mate. So yeah, what other things do we have here? What other questions? We'll be able to spawn land vehicles in our hangars when we get persistent hangars. So I would expect something coming this year. I'm hoping that we would be able to spawn vehicles in hangars so that we can do, you know, customization to them and drive them around, test them out. But also spawn or choose ships to spawn in vehicles. So choose vehicles to spawn in ships. That's something we've been waiting on for absolutely ages. Effectively, it's just a UI thing, as far as I understand it. And CIG have very little excuse to not have that in-game now, right? Do you think there is a hierarchy with Star Citizen streamers, or do all of you actually know each other? I know some of them. There's a huge amount of streamers. Hierarchy, what do you mean? I mean, I think there's different streamers and different groups of streamers that know each other in different ways. Not really a hierarchy, as far as I know. What else have we got? Any chance we'll see the Ryland this year? I mean, it's a possibility, but I think it's unlikely. So go, Morph. I hope you get some good sleep, mate. Bored. I bought so much NordVPN because I pictured that one day that they would pay you money and that money would become a full English breakfast. What's going on? Thank you very much for the donations. Oh, wow. People are chucking money at me. I like this. Thanks. If it's Morph's audience, thanks. You're my audience now. Especially if you've got money. Oh, I like an audience with money. Ace Hambone. Will they increase profits soon to allow for more escorts and security for combating pirates? So, they haven't talked about that specifically. I'm expecting that for sort of 3.19. I'm expecting a bounty hunting rework. I'm expecting more cargo gameplay. I'm expecting more work for escorts and security missions. So that's what I'm expecting then. So yeah, you'd have to have the risk reward, the reward there being pretty good to be able to then pay those people, right? So yeah, I'm expecting that to be balanced out. Cloud Imperium are going to be making some errors with this stuff, and they need to rebalance the numbers for sure. Will they increase profits? Is that the same question? Ace Hambone, if you sent that twice erroneously, or if that's just a bug, tell me, and I'll make sure I refund one of them. Might just be the same one that's come through twice, and it's not actually paid twice. But tell me if you've been charged twice, and I'll sort you out, mate. Don't you worry. Oh, Martin, thank you very much for the donation. It's very much appreciated, sir. Legend. Banu Merchantman 2023. So we're going to know more when they release the roadmap on the 8th of February. There's sort of a roadmap update. There was at least 13 people working on the Banu Merchantman last time we checked. And if they continue to work on that, and they don't reprioritize them, and they plan to get the Banu Merchantman out, then I think we could see it by the end of this year. Yes. But it's a strong possibility that I go, there's loads of other ships and points of interest and environments and stuff that they can do. So remember, there is a full wipe with 3.18. They are wiping everything. So that's your ships, your Alpha UEC, your reputation, all of it. Obviously, you'll keep anything that you've bought with real money, or that's promotion or a promotional item. Have you noticed how some destroyed ships in 3.18 leave components behind, with some of them being tractor beamable? I didn't know they were tractor beamable. So the idea is that when ships are soft destructioned, that they stay there intact. If you blow them up again, some of the cargo, and I suppose at the moment some of the items detach, and I didn't realise they were tractor beamable. Eventually, you will be able to salvage individual components and like remove weapons and stuff off wrecks as well. As they become more physicalized. Expect that probably after they get the resource management system in, which sort of is the circuitry of ships, but also leads on to physical components, and physical components is really what we need for that level of salvage. That is what we need for that level of salvage. So, 3.18 should have gone live, followed by the Siege of Orison to give us a stepping stone to make some money back. So, 3.18, once it goes live, I think the plan is to have Jump Town 2.1 in pretty soon, and once that goes live. But I totally get you with an event for people to be able to make money, and yes, Siege of Orison is a good one for that. So, Xeno Threat. To keep it secret from my mother that I've spent over 5k on ships and stuff. Ooh, you shouldn't feel ashamed about it. You should not feel ashamed. You should say, look, Mum, I spent $5,000 on spaceships for a game that's not fully released yet. It's an alpha. You're going to have to deal with it. Follow up by relay system. I meant the one showcased in the Hammerhead. Or you can disable part of the ship. So relay system, you're talking about part of the resource management system. So resource management system is the circuitry of ships. It's also rerouting power relays that can get damaged. You can turn them on and off, and all that sort of jazz. Really looking forward to that. Something we should be getting this year. You may have missed this earlier. Do you think we might also see larger handheld tractor beams? Yes, I think that's a strong possibility to see that at some point. 3.19, don't know. But larger tractor beams, two-handed tractor beams, yeah, and dedicated tractor beams, but for use by hand, yeah, because obviously they're working on ship tractor beams, but I do believe that there was a larger tractor beam for players also. What happened to ship and ship spawning? Talked about that a minute ago. I'm expecting that this year, hopefully for the middle of the year. Do you think we'll see the RSI links this year? I think it's one of the low-hanging fruit sort of vehicles that they can get in pretty easily. We'll know more on the 8th of February. Did they ever say when they will remove the magical armistice zones? So, if you saw the recent Inside Star Citizen, they showed Lawville 2.0. The Lawville 2.0, making the city hugely more detailed, much larger, lots more landing pads on top of buildings that are also going to be mission locations / delivery locations. And they're also going to be largely removing the restrictions of flying close to the city. So you're going to be able to fly really close to those cities and get really, really involved. Really excited for that. Did CIG ever mention better tick rates for servers? So, 3.18 and persistent anti-streaming may make for more stable tick rates. They're not going to go for better. They want 30 sustained tick rate. Now, what they want is not for it to be as bad as it's been. So that they have problems getting the tick rate stable 30. They have problems with server degradation and erratic tick rates and lots of other problems with that. So they just want it so that it's stable permanently at 30. And that's what they're working towards. Did you expect 3.18 to be in PT for this long? No, I did not. So 3.18, I did expect it to be out by the end of December. And Zin very much said, no, that's very unlikely. She even didn't think it was going to be out for end of January, which he appears to have been correct. So yeah, I'm very optimistic on timelines, and I will go for the party line of what did CIG last say. That's what I'm hoping for and what I'm optimistically expecting. Yeah, that's a really good way of saying, guys, it's not my fault. I'm just reporting the news. Thank you very much for all the kind words. That's very, very kind. Thank you. Those of you that don't know, I'm a self-proclaimed Star Citizen expert, and I've been covering the game for 8.5 years, and producing on average 1.2 videos a day. I think that's the current average. Every day since those harrowing 8.5 years. So I've just covered Star Citizen news for the most part. I play the game a bit. Produce some gameplay on it. Occasionally, I have a dedicated editor, Zin, who's basically my channel aide, who gets me footage, but also plays the game with me. I'm living the dream. The lazy, fat, egg-shaped, bald YouTuber dream. Thank you very much. A lot of love, which is appreciated. go for a little tiny bit longer before we'll call the stream. I'd sort of answer some questions, have a bit of a chat. When would you expect the Odyssey to be released? So they keep on hinting at bits about the Odyssey. I don't think it's going to be released until like the end of next year. Thank you very much, Sharticus. Thank you very much for subscribing with the Borat Prime in. That is genuinely appreciated, sir. When do you think personal hangers are coming? So I think we're potentially going to have some additional hanger stuff, persistent hanger stuff, in 3.19, just with the sort of UI and then building out from there. So elevator would take you to your hanger, and then you'd have a UI there, and you'd potentially be able to buy more cargo space there. Will I be able to, in the near future, access game code via my Pac-Man Atari and become part of Star Citizen, like what happened in Tron? Maybe make Gillian Anderson. It's possible. No, there's a non-zero chance. So maybe. What else do I? Do you have plans for diversifying and starting a board microbrewery, where you are a brew bespoke beers? You brew bespoke beers named after planets in the verse. I mean, it's a great idea. That is not a plan that I previously had, or I'm going to have. So, but I love the alliteration there. My brain couldn't get around it. Are there plans to add navigation waypoints? Recall planning to the new star map. So, Plan Imperium are working on a new star map. They're working on navigation and travel modes, so that allows you to do little quantum boosts in a direction. They're working on deeper scanning. They're working on minimap, and all this stuff coming together. So, yes, that is very much something I would expect as part of that. Waypoints and being able to save custom locations, share a custom location, all that sort of jazz. When do you think we'll have a new star map? Some point this year. I don't know how far along it is. Oh, what else have we got here? Is there any plans to make actual suns and not just a light bulb in the sky? So, they want to have, and it's still the plan to have orbiting planets around a star. I would also expect the star to become more of a danger, a physical object, something that destroys you when it gets too close, or your ship won't allow you to get closer than a certain point, rather than just a light bulb. Yes, as you say, not just light bulbs. They're very impressive light bulbs. Prediction on the RSI Apollo's ETA. Don't know. They are doing some level of working on medical gameplay. I think the modular nature of the Apollo means that they'll probably get it done after they finish off the can't remember what it's called now, resource management system. They said they're going to work on modularity after that. What do you think of CIG adding streamer items that are collectible, similar to Escape from Tarkov? A very cool and respectful nod to dedicated content creators like yourself. I don't know. I'd need to think about it. I'm not sure if I like the idea or not. But as long as the items are not game breaking and they're just sort of fun, aesthetic items, and it doesn't create some sort of weird elitism, then I don't see any harm with it. As long as it's like for, they'll use it for advertising purposes, right? Promotion. It might save them a lot of money. Maybe. Might be a good idea. Stuff like that needs to be handled right, otherwise you annoy your community. Will persistent hangars only be at our home planets, or will we be able to access them at any city and space station? So persistent hangars would be, potentially, you'd be able to rent them or own them at each individual planet. Yeah? How good would it have how good would it be to have an in-game TV show like Top Gear to display on the MFT during traveling? They've got the render detection tech. They've got the ability to potentially do that in game. I would expect to see some stuff like that ish. I'm sort of represented in verse. There's supposed to be the Mako Reliant as well, which is supposed to be a news van. Will we be able to stream in game to another sort of monitor or whatever? Maybe. I like the idea of it. What would you like to be added in game for press? Would you like to start a news corp in game? I like the idea of it. Yes. I mean, what I foresee is when Star Citizen's more released is that we'll be doing daily updates about what's happening in the verse, sort of with the economy, with hot points. What's a good idea to buy? What is there a cool new thing that you can do? New missions. So we did loads of that stuff every day. It's like a little news show. So for press, I mean, more camera controls, things like that. That would be good. Press armor, so people are potentially less likely to shoot you. Maybe. Board, what would you prefer? 10 systems flashed out like Stanton, or 100 systems with maybe one point of interest and some barrel 10 systems flashed out. Yes. But by some margin, I'd like that, prefer that. Otherwise, I'd play No Man's Sky. Although No Man's Sky is pretty good now, and stuff is a lot. Their procedural generation is pretty good. Right. Any other quick questions we can answer? Any info on ship to ship boarding and the Anvil Legionnaire? No new information as far as I'm aware. Do you think the star map will be relatively complete when it arrives, since we have the same map since the inception of the persistent universe? I think it will be a big change. I think they'll kind of constantly iterate and improve it. I mean, you expect to see things like the Galactopedia be integrated with it and stuff like that in the future as well. There's lots of stuff they can do and should do, and lots of improvements they will want to make. But you've got to remember that they're moving into what effectively the film is the finale of getting Squadron 42 sort of ready. They need to finish off those core systems, and then they need to refine and iron out a load of stuff. So they need to start completing this stuff and going, that's it. That's it done, or mostly done, and then we just polish it. What do you think the biggest hurdle 3.18 faces when it comes to server performance so far? Load, desync, render time. So it'll be persistent entity streaming, shard isolation, sort of just general desync and performance issues with just so many objects and things, and the way it loads them in. I mean, that's not just an opinion, that's largely provable from looking through the patch notes and seeing what CIG are talking about. So, for example, as soon as they finish shard isolation, which basically gives each shard their own pipeline, so they don't affect each other, they don't get sort of degraded by each other, that's when we're going to see Wave 2 PTU. That'll probably be quite short, Wave 2 PTU, then it'll go into Open PTU pretty soon after that. That's an expectation, the Open PTU pretty soon after that, but I think a reasonable one. Do you think CIG will put in a help/piracy button in large cargo ships that you could press when being attacked to auto-generate a help beacon? Well, you can mean there might be ways of generating a help beacon a lot quicker than we currently can, and don't take that long. Well, the existing game, expect them to refine the process. Yeah. And do you think we could get a working radio station kind of like GTA? It's possible. I like the idea. Did you expect the game to be this big? No. No, not until 2016 did I realize how big they wanted it to be, which was as big as possible. What else we got? Anything else? Do you think they will ever adjust ship prices? In game, yeah, loads, and eventually they'll be dynamic. Out of game, ships that are in concept that then become flyable, they change in price. when they become flyable. And some ships that are flyable, they occasionally rebalance the sort of prices by like $10, $15. I think the Hurricane's about to get a change in price, for example. Do you think there will be hostile star systems only for exploration without any pre-made waypoints? Yeah, I do. I think we'll see that. I think we'll see an occasional wormhole, like a temporary wormhole, or like a discoverable jump point that will lead to systems like that we don't know about. Will we get updates to ships like cars where the 23 model has a different look and feel than the 22 version? Yes. So in the future, I believe the plan is to have different versions and updated versions of ships sort of generated in game that aren't sort of like just a rework of the ship. They're like, this is the new 2953 version. So both versions would exist. Anything else quick? So 3.18, currently expecting Wave 2 out shortly, and then Open P2 quickly thereafter. When is 3.18 coming out? I'm expecting it mid-February, but I was expecting it at the end of December, so take that into consideration. 3.19, we know that Clan Imperium are working on a lot of bits for 3.19 at the moment. We've got potential for Lorville 2.0 and cities, sort of expansion maybe, but new derelicts, new settlements, new points of interest, making some more of the current flyable ships into derelicts to use for points of interest as well. Some form of cargo update, large cargo containers, potentially ship tractor beams, potentially loading and unloading costs and times. Arena Commander, a big sort of update to that. So lots going on for 3.19 already. Expect a lot more for that patch as well. I'm expecting that patch probably the end of Q2. But sort of have to wait and see. But yeah. Do you think we'll get to a point where RSI gives a system and we have the tools to create an economy? So that's an interesting one, but I think that with base building and the ability to affect an economy or have player-driven economy in certain areas, yes, to an extent, but it is a player simulator. It is a simulated economy, which is not player-driven for Star Citizen, so bear that in mind. What happened to the ground vehicle physics rework? It is still being worked on. Expect it later this year, I believe. That's still the plan. As a former professional chef, what is the best selection of cut spices and cooking methods for Felled Vandal? There'd probably be like some form of fish, right? Probably be pretty good poached. They're probably quite a strong tasting fish, so you probably want something like punchy. To get rid of it. Might just be able to get away with soy and rice, though. I don't know. Unlikely to be able to taste Vandal flesh ever in my life, so... Right. I'm going to dash off in a second. I'm going to find someone else for you to watch. Bear with me. Thank you very much for watching. Let's have a look to see who is streaming. Thank you very much for Morph and Morph's audience that's taken the time to turn up here and watch me. That's genuinely appreciated. He's a beautiful boy, is Morph. Makes very pretty videos. I'm much lazier than Morph. I like to add to my knowledge base every day from reading Star Citizen stuff that's going on and getting involved with the game a bit. But I'm sort of gameplay. Making pretty stuff with gameplay. Play the game a bit. Enjoy playing the game a bit. Don't want to do gameplay as videos. Well, sometimes I actually do. That's not true. I'm more news. The lazy man's news. I do genuinely appreciate you watching, though. Who is online at the moment? We are going to... I'll send you over to HC Vertigo. He's a beautiful boy. And give him some love. Can I just slash raid from here? Does this work? Oh, it works. Nice. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's genuinely appreciated. If you want to further support the channel, use the join button under the videos. That helps loads. If you want a Toby eye tracker, go to toby.gg/BoredGamer. There's a deal on with that at the moment. I think it's 15% off for the next few days. They're natively supported in Star Citizen for head and eye tracking. Oh, look, head and eyes. NordVPN something BoredGamer get that. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, and loads of donations today. That was genuinely super appreciated, and a good few subs. But yeah, thank you for supporting the channel. Daily videos. Get another video out. I'm like maybe like half an hour. Have some food quick. But yeah, thanks for watching. Love you guys loads. Peace. I'll link you to HC Vertical's channel so you can see where we've gone. Oh no! Let's link you over here as well. Laser Man News, best man news. Thank you very much. Genuinely appreciated.